IT and public relations. What a combination. Here's a story of a young woman who, out of her uniqueness, came up with Glass House PR company. Let's venture into Mary's world. Mary Njoki, once known as the village girl from Nyarariga, says life has not been easy. Her background is a tale in itself.
Mary Njoki is this lady who grew up in a village. I grew up in a village in it's called Ngarariga in Limuru. I grew up with a single parent. I had only one sibling who was a bit older than me, and my mom was a primary school teacher. So when we grew up, especially when I was in primary school and secondary school, we were we were just getting food, hand to mouth. We never had more than enough. It's just enough. My biggest challenge was I was bright, but as well, in the village, you're not exposed to real knowledge or to real, so it's just everything is kind of mediocre, and that's how you grow up in a mediocre society, a mediocre village. I remember sleeping in a room where they were full of rats, and you hear rats at night and you just sleep. So I remember when I was in high school and I'd go shopping, because you're given a certain amount to shop. So when you get to the counter, the shopping the money that you're supposed to pay is more than the shopping you had done. So you have to go put some things back. Yes. So I finished high school in 2005. I was 16 years old, and I could not afford to go to campus or to go to college. So in 2006, I went looking for a place where I could hang out. I remember going to Kenya National Theatre from the village. One day I just came to, and I didn't even know Nairobi very well. Anyway, one day I came to Kenya National Theatre, and then I met this guy who used to come to act at our school, and I approached him and I told him I'd like to act. His name was Mbudhia. So Mbudhia told me, okay, join us. I never even went for auditions. So I remember we went, I used to act as a child in all there were set books, so they had children in the set books. So I used to act as one of the children for them. And yeah, and we went to high schools in Kisumu, in Limuru and Nairobi, like for 3 months. Then I quit. Because I really wanted to go back to school, and I remember pushing my mother because all my friends had gone to college. It's 1 year, and I passed. It's not that I got a C or a D or E.
With a background of IT and communication, she is the woman behind Glass House PR company.
We basically do online PR. That's my idea, since I'm from the IT background. So I love technology, and PR was something I was doing without knowing it was PR. Plus I'm a connector. If you've read The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell, it speaks about 3 kinds of people. You have connectors, you have mavens, you have salespeople. I'm a connector. I love people. So being at that place where I love people, and now everyone was going online, so I decided to create a platform where we can relate and engage with people online, because the future of PR is online. We're no longer doing the PR the way we used to do. So online PR is it's a future of the industry. Even media. We don't have to watch the TV or radio. News will just find you online. So I believe it's that's the future, and that's where we'll get solutions. Yeah.
At 25 and already a CEO of her own company, you may wonder what motivates her.
I think what motivates me is knowing that I have a bigger purpose. Maybe I should, say when I found, when I found God, that's when I started discovering, oh, I'm something. Kumbe, I can do this. I believe, nothing is impossible for anyone who believes. So I believe that nothing is impossible. I can change the world. I can impact lives. I can create job opportunities for 100,000 people. I'm very ambitious, and I believe it's possible. So nothing is impossible for anyone who believes. So that's That's what I believe. So that's what keeps me going, and knowing where I'm coming from. I don't want to experience that, and I don't want anyone to experience that. So I try to be a blessing to everyone that I meet here.
Mary has had a long way to go, moving from job to job, and now she's the lady boss around here.
I never thought I'd own a company. I never, when people say, I never thought actually I'll be in business. So I'm not those people who would say that I used to sell sweets, or, because most entrepreneurs start saying, I used to sell sweets when I was in primary school, I used to sell clothes, but I never did that. I thought I'd go to university, get employed, get married, just a normal life, and then you die after.
The company being branded for both IT and PR, challenges must be handful. She tells us more.
Now online PR has picked, even from other people. But what I've done is I've strategically connected with those people who do online PR. Like I do training with Steve Biko, who is very big online. So I do the Steve Biko. There's a gentleman called Anthony Kagiri. We do training with them for Glasshouse PR. What you do is you just connect with the right people who are doing almost the same thing, but then they do a lot of digital marketing. But my my idea is online engagement. How do you engage people online? How do you how do you respond? How do you create a brand online? How do you make social media work for you, whoever you are? Yeah. Our achievement is now we work with SMEs, and what we've done is we have a proven track record of working with SMEs who have gotten clients from what we've done for them on social media. So last year we got an inquiry from Google, and we were shortlisted and all these things. But I think for now what we are doing is when we work with SMEs and this proven track, because for me, like working with a client called Fat Loss Lab, and she came from South Africa to Kenya, and she didn't have clients, and then we started working on our social media page, and she gets clients every day. She's even opening other branches because of the many clients she's gotten from what we've done for her. It's, for me, that's a big thing. At times if you've worked with that small person and you've seen them grow, it's a big thing. Also working with artists in Kenya, Juliani, working with international artists like Pastor Uche, for us it's a big deal. And we're still getting there. We have corporates we are targeting, and we are hoping we can offer them our solutions.
She tells us of her greatest mentor, a pastor.
I think I'll talk about my pastor. His name is Dr. Peter Dera. He is one of the greatest musicians that Africa has ever had. And for me, he taught me small, when you're growing in a village, you don't know what excellence is, you've grown up in mediocre. So he comes and teaches you excellence, and he acts it, and you look at him and you're like, oh yeah, he's practicing this thing, he's teaching you. So just observing him, inspired me so much. And he teaches you integrity. You have to be the person you are in when no one is watching you, and the person you are in public should be the same. So and he acts that. So seeing somebody who teaches what he practices inspires me.
The young ambitious CEO definitely sees the company going to greater heights. She tells me,
wow, we are building other brands. We are building a YouTube show. I'm competing with you. Anyway, we'll get to we have a YouTube show. We want to come up with products for media, like magazines. What else? We want to come up, of course, because of the technology. We want to come up with the platforms where people can download apps. We have big plans. Yes, and we pray and hope they'll come to us.
As they say, everything good comes to an end. And so did my chat with Mary. But before we call it quits, she had a word of advice to the youths out there.
What I'd like to tell everyone who's watching is nobody owes you anything, because our problem as the youth in Africa, we believe that people owe us anything, but nobody really owes you anything. I believe there's something unique in you. I'm good in PR. because I'm relational. But I can't knit, but I have somebody who can really knit. So knit something, So if they can knit that something, what can they do? How can they create wealth? How can they overcome poverty with that gift that they have? So what gift do you have? What talent do you have? What, can you sing? Can you do what? Can you plait hair? I believe everyone has something unique in themselves, and with that thing that is unique in you, how can you create an opportunity with it? Nobody owes you anything. Again, please remember this: nobody owes you anything. Find your gift. Find yourself in God. Put God first. Find yourself. Find what is what's that thing that you can do uniquely. Then after that, we have Facebook, Twitter. Start, making noise about, what you do, plate somebody and take a photo and upload and say, this is the person I plated, create a company out of that. I didn't limit myself. I was just a village girl, and I did not limit myself. So why are you limiting yourself?
Take up that idea, make that idea your life. Think about it, dream about it, live by that idea. Let every brain, muscle, nerve, every part of your body be with that idea. That's the way to success. Just like Mary did, it is evident that nothing is impossible. Michelle Wanjiko, Nairobi.